I have been a daily user of social media for at least 10 years, probably longer. I always regarded people who took breaks from or didn't use social media as missing out by doing so, but my own relationship to social media wasn't great. I spent far too much time on my phone overall, especially late at night, and too many of my mornings resembled the example on the right. Knowing I needed to do something drastic to shake myself out of this rut, I decided to fast social media for Lent, which is 40 days long in imitation of Jesus' 40 days spent fasting in the wilderness. I hoped from this there would be some improvement to multiple areas of my life, from work to sleep to consistent devotions. I chose to fast all forms of scrolling media, including but not limited to Instagram, TikTok, Facebook X, and YouTube Shorts. Pinterest and long-form YouTube videos would still be allowed, as well as podcasts and music. Feeling this might be too easy, I decided to deepen the fast by completely avoiding devices on Sundays. I hoped that this would help me to do better at observing a day of rest, instead of spending my Sundays working. Here's how it went. So it is Wednesday evening. It is the end of the first day of my social media fast. And if I had to sum it up in a word, I would say it was productive, which I did anticipate if I'm not spending a lot of time scrolling on my phone. I don't have a lot of other unproductive habits. I did a Pilates class. I did some grocery shopping, some errands, made some food. I spent a couple hours at work this afternoon. It wasn't even like that long, honestly, but I was just very focused the whole time. I had church tonight, so my evening was like occupied with other things. I also spent some time editing a vlog before dinner. So I had my fair share of screen time, but I was also like pretty occupied doing other things. That would pretty much sum up my first day. Oh, I do want to look at my screen time for today and see how it has improved. Yesterday, my screen time was 6 hours and 6 minutes. My most used app was Instagram, and my time spent on Instagram was 3 hours and 5 minutes. Second was Safari. I must have been like researching or shopping. Actually, that was Wednesday, February 26th. Why am I all the way back there? Yesterday, March 4th, my total screen time was 5 hours and 24 minutes. And my most used app was Instagram, with a total time of 2 hours and 32 minutes. Today, my total time spent was 1 hour and 51 minutes. And most of that, it says the music app, which is because I had the app open while I was playing music. So actually, this is probably more like an hour and a half. And my most used app after that was YouTube. And it means I have reclaimed approximately 3 hours on average, day over day. My camera is dying, but I owe you an update. Let's see how much of this I can get in before my camera dies. So it is now Saturday night, March 15th. Technically it's March 16th because it's after midnight, but it's still night, you know? So I am over a week and a half into my social media fast. I'm so glad I did this. The last few days have been really fun, very busy, very packed. I hung out with my cousin. We just had a really great time being unplugged together. I'm going into my second full device-free Sunday. Last Sunday was it wasn't rough, it was just like weird, but I'm planning to do something fun with Becca tomorrow in the afternoon, just at home, like a fun activity. So I'm looking forward to that. It'll be like fun time spent with her. I did a really, really long shift today at the coffee shop, and then I came home and like completely like refreshed. I actually vlogged it, so like I'll link it up here, whatever. We're cross-referencing vlogs back and forth here. But yeah, I'm really enjoying having a lot more free time to do other things, to be focused on the present. I feel like it's really helping me kind of reclaim my life. Typically, I would have come home from that long shift and just dissociated on my phone for like an hour or two. I ended up basically spending the whole evening recharging and refreshing, cleaning myself up, and it was like a pleasant thing and not like a, oh snap, now it's 11 p.m. and I have to go wash my hair and dry it. I kind of feel like I'm living life as it is meant to be lived. A week and a half in, I'm really glad I did this. At this point, I would be very surprised if I choose to put Instagram back on my phone. after this is done. Maybe I'll do it like periodically, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to keep it on my phone in the future. I can access it from my computer, but honestly, like, the FOMO is gone. Like, you get FOMO from having Instagram, not from not looking at social media. Like, the presence of Instagram and TikTok and other social media creates the FOMO. And I, like, totally understand now how people don't have social media. It's kind of great.
In today's video, we're gonna be
exploring the effects of social media on our brains. This is my little brother. Well, he's not very little. This is my big little brother. Okay, it's Monday. It's
Monday. I'm trying to get out of the
Sorry. I'm trying to get the light so it's not a like Anyway, Becca and I went to try a coffee shop she'd never been to, and then we came home and we made pastries. So she made rough puff and I made quinamon, which I've had quinamon on my vlog before in a previous episode.
Layers. Is it focusing? I can't tell.
Probably. They're like a sweet and salty caramelized croissant puff, basically like a croissant muffin. And they were surprisingly easy. I've tried to make laminated dough before, but I think it was gluten-free, so that's just like a whole other ball game. So that was what we did with our Sunday. And now I'm going to eat one of these for breakfast. They're not as fresh because I baked them last night, but they are very flaky.
Apparently filming from the ceiling is all the rage right now, so you are currently precariously perched atop my secretary, which is a piece of furniture, not another person. What do we think? I feel like it's a very interesting angle. It's not quite vertical, but it does give a new perspective of the room. I'm here to give you an update on my Lenten fast, which has turned out to be not very spiritual. I am sad to say. Somehow I've managed to find plenty of other things to distract myself from Bible study, even with many added hours to my week. It's Saturday night. The middle of this week marked the halfway point of this. I have an update on how I am thinking about social media. I'm starting to miss it, but not in the way that I thought I would. Not in the, I just wish I could sit and scroll and brain rot for a bit. I'm actually starting to think about specific people that I follow, wondering what they're up to. And like, oh yeah, that person, I wonder if they had their baby. That YouTuber I follow who hasn't made a video in a while, I wonder how they're doing. Things like that. I have to say, this is getting kind of tiring to look at. Maybe I'll lean back. I heard that Instagram is considering moving Reels to their own app, and I really hope they do that because I would love for Instagram to just go back to like OG posts and stories. I mean, like maybe even just posts would be fine, but I highly doubt they would do that. Yeah, just a place to like connect with people that I actually care about and not be bombarded with content from people I don't know and I don't know that I should care about. I now have less than 3 weeks left. I think it's like 2.5 weeks, which is crazy. March absolutely flew by. If it's any indication of the way the rest of the year is going to go, I'm scared. I don't know. Maybe I'll insert some more aesthetic B-roll here of my life without social media.
Nothing is as it has been, and I, for one, am tired. 27.
I got this muff for my little microphone, and it's ridiculously big. This is my recorder, by the way. I got this in lieu of a microphone, but this muff is so ridiculously huge. It's like Pepe. Maybe I'll call it Pepe because it looks like Pepe the prawn from the memes on social media appropriately. I really want to use this because it really helps cut down on the my breath interfering, but it looks so ridiculous. Okay, actually for real this time, I'm coming to you in the wee hours of the morning of April 18th, the same day this video is going up. Hopefully if I can get it edited in a reasonable amount of time. My Lent fast is over. I actually did 43 days because I don't know if I got confused. I just went from Ash Wednesday to Good Friday, and that's 43 days, not 40 days. So I guess I did a little extra. I don't think it made that much of a difference. Going back to before I started this fast, in a couple weeks from the time I decided to fast to actually starting the fast, I had very mixed feelings, from kind of dreading it to at the same time kind of being excited about it. I deleted TikTok when the ban happened in January, and after it came back, I decided not to re-download it because it just seemed like an easy way to cut back on the amount of time I was spending on social media. So I had already cut a little bit of my scrolling time out of my routine. And Reels in that interim were extremely dull, to say the least. Felt like every time I opened the app, I was getting recycled the same couple of dozen videos, and I wasn't enjoying it very much. But I was really concerned that I was going to be miserable without social media. As you saw in my real-time updates, I did not feel that way actually. And I have 5 specific takeaways that I want to share with you about my experience doing this. The first one is that you do not have to fast social media for very long in order for it to be effective. 40 days is actually kind of long. I found myself wanting to get on social media way more in the final 3 weeks than the first 3 weeks. If anything, I would recommend even 2 or 3 days. And if you want to do something more challenging, but still not over the top, maybe 2 weeks would be plenty to just reset your brain. Because at that point, I was not I really want to get back on social media. I was this is chill. Secondly, social media is not the only thing causing distractions in my life. This ties in very closely to the next point. One of the main things that did not improve in my life during this time was my devotions, ironically, because this was supposed to be kind of a spiritual thing. But I think it's good to strike that excuse from the list of possibilities. Point 3, which ties into that. I am not just addicted to social media, to scrolling. I'm addicted to screens. It's a real problem, I'm realizing. My device-free Sundays were very hard. I kind of downplayed it at the beginning there, but I actually did not follow through with that. The third Sunday, I was making adjustments to my rules for myself. And by this last Sunday, which to be fair, I was in the car all day, didn't go on social media, even YouTube, etc. But I was listening to music. I was working on work in the car, totally not abiding by the self-imposed rules of my fast. Fourth, scrolling only improves my life marginally. For years, I've avoided adjusting my habits under the guise of a few different excuses. Namely, I have to post to my own accounts, which I literally never do anyway. I have gone months at a time without posting. I'm really not an influencer. YouTube is the only thing that I'm posting consistently on, and I'm actually fine with it being that way. It's questionable how enjoyable social media actually is, and I feel like this is kind of a main point I want to drive home. We do not enjoy social media itself. We are drawn back to social media again and again and again by the promise that it will be enjoyable. And then we do all of this digging to find the gem in the rough, the one video out of 50 that makes us belly laugh. And sure, it's fun. It's not, I don't think it's inherently bad, but it is a bad way to spend your life. Really is this thinking that my life is boring, therefore I'm going to live vicariously through other people's experiences. Having wanted to do some things for years, specifically to travel, and following people who got to travel all the time for work, for content creation, having gotten to finally travel myself, it is no substitute for the real experience. If you're someone that spends a couple hours a day on social media, just 2 hours, that is 14 hours a week. That's a part-time job. If you work 14 hours a week at the lowest minimum wage of $7.25 for 6 months, you can make over $2,500. And after taxes, that is still enough to take a modest week-long trip somewhere really cool. I have gone to Europe for that much, for a week. It doesn't apply, fine. But we are collectively wasting opportunities to have experiences that we want. And finally, I did learn that I can slip back into my habits extremely easily. Within the last couple of weeks, I've caught myself picking up my phone first thing in the morning and going to YouTube and scrolling the home page to get in my scrolling fix, which is kind of embarrassing. I know from this that I need to interact very carefully with social media moving forward to avoid falling back into my old ways. That said, here's what I'm planning to do. 1, I'm going to move my phone away from my bed to charge like out in the kitchen or something. I feel like this is like the most basic thing you can do. But I got an alarm clock earlier this year with this intention. That way I can't pick it up first thing in the morning. Second of all, I don't think I'm going to put social media back on my phone for the present, except to post. I can access pretty much everything I want to view on my computer. Before I had TikTok for years, I would just go to TikTok and watch a few people whose content I wanted to view directly from my computer without having an account. And that's what I've done since I got rid of the app. So I'll probably just continue doing that. And also with like Instagram and Facebook, it's much easier to not fall into the habit of scrolling when I view on my computer. And it's, an equally good viewing experience. If that gets out of hand, I'll probably like reset with a short fast, and then maybe I'll put it on my phone, but with a time limit that I can't override. So like I'll have someone else set the password, or I'll set it myself and throw away the key. That way I'm just not spending more than like 25-30 minutes is what I would say is like that sweet spot of like, I'm not going to be on social media for longer than that doing frivolous things. Because I am literally coming to you from the first moments after my fast, like the video is literally going up today, I have not had time to observe how this reset has affected me in real time. I guess I'll have to come back to you with an update in the future. So if you want to see that, make sure you subscribe. If you've made it this far, leave a comment and tell me your thoughts. If you're somebody who is well-behaved and doesn't have a problem with screen time and social media addiction, why are you watching this? Share your thoughts. I love hearing from you all. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.